Raising Christmas trees is a part-time job for most growers, but it's all hands on deck the day after Thanksgiving when families head to the woods to choose the perfect tree. It will be a different type of season for Virginia choose and cut growers who've struggled with wet weather on top of COVID-19 restrictions. As long as there's pretty weather, they expect to be slammed.
We're pretty booked up. My wish would be that everybody would be safe. They would come out here and have a great experience, or go to our tree lot and have a good experience, but foremost that they would be safe and be protected and just have a wonderful Christmas season with their tree or wreath.
There's a few things we're not offering this year that we have in the past, such as hot chocolate, cookies. Obviously with the coronavirus, that entails a whole different set of issues, so we decided not to go with that because we thought it was going to be too cumbersome to try to take care of that. We're still selling wreaths. We're selling garland as well, 20-foot rolls of garland. I do have 7 varieties of trees that I sell. The trees behind me here are my Norway spruce. They're one of my better sellers. My white pines are my other ones that are longer needles, but I also have some Colorado blue spruce. I have a few Scotch pines, a few Canaan firs, and then I have 2 different types of cypress, which are drawing more and more attention from people.
All the farms are doing something a little bit different. Some are doing ticketed sales, some are doing appointments, some are doing things a little bit differently. Not many farms have closed, and that's a really good thing because they're still open, realizing, yeah, they still got to make a profit. They're still going to have bills to pay next year. So, we all have to be in it for that part too. But I think, still offering a fresh tree is really important to all of us as Christmas tree growers.
Like all farmers, Christmas tree growers are at the mercy of the weather. Mother Nature was a little too generous with rainfall this year, but it's working out.
People always think rain is good, rain is good. They're just like anything else. Trees are just like any other living organism. They don't like extremes, and this year has been an extremely wet year.
The trees are beautiful. We've had a lot of rain, and anytime you have a lot of rain, late summer, early fall, you're going to have a lot of moisture in that tree, and that's what we need going into the selling season. So the trees are really beautiful this year.
It can take close to a decade to raise a 7-foot tall Christmas tree. So growers need a fair amount of land and a lot of faith that their work will pay off years in the future.
We actually were strictly a wholesale farm back in the 60s when we started out, and we started picking up some customers in the county here, and so we ended up, the choose and cut built up, and actually it wasn't until after my dad passed away in '93, it was like '94, when I started making our first wreaths, and just to see how well they did, and it really started to take off. So
it takes about a foot a year. So for a 6 to 7 foot tree, you're looking at 7 years. 8-footer, about 8 years. So it's about a foot a year. So you got to remember that new grower just planting their first trees, they've got to wait 7 to 8 years before they have a crop at all. And that's a long time. That's a long time to invest in equipment and the seedlings and everything that goes along with growing a tree.
I want to try to get more trees, but there's such a long lead time that what I'm planting now is 2031, 32, 2032. I mean, that's a long time. Is the market still going to be that good then? I have no idea. So you're always behind the curve, and there's no way to catch up.
A freshly cut Christmas tree is both pleasing to the senses and environmentally sound. Growers typically plant multiple trees to replace each one that is harvested, and there are ways to repurpose them after the holidays.
A lot of people will take that tree, recycle it at their landfill, but more and more people are putting them in the woods and decorating them with cones and suet and peanut butter on cones and letting the birds feed there during the winter, and they'll stay green pretty much the whole winter. So they're really providing a good benefit for that. Also, fishermen love to take them, bundle them up, and put them in a pond in their great fish habitat. So that tree keeps on giving on and on. Now, in terms of replenishing, most Christmas tree growers will go in and plant another tree or 2 or 3 trees for every one that's cut.
It's very fulfilling, and even if I didn't make any money off it, which I really, the last few years when I really did start making any money, it was just sort of breaking even before, I would still do it just for the pleasure of it. So, I mean, it really makes you feel good when you see some smiles on the kids' face and you see the family is having a good time.
You know, whether it's at your farmer's market or coming to a choose and cut farm or buying at a tree lot, it means a lot to support us even in a year where we've all got difficulties.
In a year where so many traditions have been turned upside down or had to be canceled, Virginia Christmas tree growers are hoping to bring back a little bit of normalcy and some holiday cheer. I'm Ricky Gibson reporting.